Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Today's video has me feeling very nostalgic. I was sitting there wrapping presents and thinking about Christmas past, about when the children were younger, about before the children were born, and on back to about 1963. So picture it, Jasper, Tennessee, a little town in the very, very southernmost part of Tennessee, right above Georgia, right above Alabama, in the mountains. A little girl waits patiently for Santa Claus to come see her. So the main people in all of our Christmases was my cousin Sharon here, and then there's my brother. But Sharon's mother and my mother were sisters. So it's Sharon and my Aunt Weta was her sister, and my brother and myself and my father and my Uncle John. We spent every holiday together. We were very close. There I am getting my hair brushed by my mom. Unfortunately, Sharon died last year, my cousin Sharon, so it was like losing a sister. There she is now. And you know, look at that TV. That's back at our house. The other picture was in Oak Ridge where they live. This is down in Jasper where we live, and Sharon's teaching me Spanish. It's another holiday. It's kind of going fast, so I'll do my best. But you know, you always have that uncle that plays the guitar. Well, that was Uncle John. And that was my Aunt Weta drinking her coffee, smoking her cigarette. And I remember my mother always had a bowl of fake vegetables. Of course, you have to show the dog. Their dog's name was Cindy. Cindy was a little Boston, and she would just wiggle her butt all the time. On the linoleum, her nails would click. She was a sweet dog. Our dog was Daisy, a dachshund that was overweight. But Daisy was afraid of the linoleum and wouldn't step off the rug because she didn't like the clicking of her nails. It would always scare her. She'd put one paw out, nope, can't do it. And of course, you always had to show the Thanksgiving or Christmas turkey. My Uncle John was the cook, fabulous cook. In the Army, he had been a cook in World War II. My mother, it's so funny because I can't ever remember my mother wearing skirts, but she has them on here. We had blue willow dishes, if you remember those, and typical 50s, early 60s cabinets and kitchen. Kitchen and the little kind of sitting room was in the same area. There's our full table. Of course, there's Sharon, my brother. His name is Gil. And they were about the same. Like I said, Sharon was pretty much my sister. We always tried to live next door to them or close to them if we could. There we are. I think my mother had a rooster hanging on the wall and the big telephone hanging on the wall. And the oven was kind of looks like it's in a cabinet instead of a separate oven by itself. And then there's the stove top. I just love looking at old things from that time. It's so interesting to me. I always wore a cloth headband. There's my dad and getting some potatoes. I want you to look at how beige all the food looks. I just think that's so funny. There's my mom and then her sister, my Aunt Weta. And then, you know, everybody's getting some of the beige food. And then my dad's going to carve the turkey. But of course, the Uncle John always has to tell you how to do it. I told him how to do it. I remember my dad's so irritated. And then my Uncle John would put his thumb on the turkey to hold it. He always did that to, you know, try to hold it. Yep, there he goes. He would always put it on there. And that big phone in the background. You didn't even have to dial the full numbers. You could just do, I remember my telephone number and everything. It was just 7 numbers, no area code or anything. And those blue willow dishes. But look how beige, looks like creamed corn that Sharon's getting. My mother did put down a tablecloth, I see. I just always remember being surrounded by grown-ups. And here I am putting that awful, god-awful Christmas tree. Oh, we thought it was beautiful. I love the lamps in the background. It was fake flocked tree that was fake. And we only had green lights, and so my father tried to spray paint them white so they wouldn't show up as much. And my older brother's looking through the front window. I said older brother, it's my only brother. And I wouldn't even go barefoot then. I've always wanted to wear socks or something on my feet inside. There's our presents on that. I'm trying to put an ornament. I think they had it staged for me to put an ornament on the tree. And there's another headband, another cloth headband. This is so crazy to see this. I remember now always wearing those cloth headbands, and we had those heaters in the walls like that. And boy, I was a priss, wasn't I? And here I am. This was stage 2. My mother had always put my hair in rollers. I've got my Beatles sweatshirt on. I remember that. And I always wore my headband way down on right where my hairline would meet. I always wore it down real low. I didn't like it back. See how low it is? That's Christmas morning. I got some kind of game that had a phone in it and a trophy. Yep, there it is. And my mother had rolled my hair in these rubber rollers. Do y'all remember those? And then it would hook over. And I'd put that headband on right on my hairline. And my mother or somebody would try to scoot that headband back, that cloth headband. It was stretchy. It was all one piece, and I would do it way down. And my mom's got her hair in rollers because I think we're going to go to Oak Ridge to see Weta and John and Sharon. Yep. So she wanted to get her hair fixed up, looking nice, I guess. And then my brother is so dang grumpy every Christmas morning. He was so mad because I'd get him up at the crack of dawn and he got a sweater and he was so mad. And there's the mess afterwards. And I got my first perfume bottle and a spray. My mother was doing the cigarette right in my face. Oh my goodness. Everybody smoked back then. And there was my brother all ticked off again. It's still filming him. He was so mad. And there was my dad. He got some kind of gadget or something. He always wore a white t-shirt a whole lot. Those lamps and my piano, I remember that. And that big lamp, I remember it. It broke one year. And my mother in her house shoes. And all the mess. And my mother would get up and start jerking all the decorations down before we left to go to Oak Ridge to see Weta and John. She wanted to come back to all the decorations put away. And there I got a manicure set. I always liked girly things, I think. And then there's up at Weta and John's, and there's their thing. I wanted to show this as me in the background with that headband way down again on my forehead practically. It's practically on my forehead. But my cousin Sharon, my brother was about 15, 16. Sharon was about 16, 17. So it was about 63, 64. And I wanted to show the fashion. It looks like she has on a skirt that comes right above her knee. Oh, there's the dishes again. But yeah, and it looks like she's got on a dickie and a white button-up shirt and then a belt. It has loops on her skirt and it zips up the back, you can tell, and she's got on knee socks. And I remember this day she was talking to her boyfriend, and I thought he was the cutest thing, even though I was a little girl. He was real cute. And then I got a wood burning set for Christmas. And then when I went to bed, my brother started playing with it. And then there's my mom just sitting on that little couch and her pedal pushers. Well, they weren't quite pedal pushers, but they didn't come all the way down. They're very, the same length that's stylish now. And she'd always put her legs up on that wall heater, and Daisy would lay beside her because she wouldn't get off that rug. And then I was helping my mother do something, but anyway, I had on a skirt right above the knee and knee socks. So skirt and knee socks and that crazy headband. I had one in every color, and a button up the front skirt. My mother, she didn't think I did it right, and I was mad. I remember that. And I remember those curtains. And you didn't have ice makers. And there was some kind of winter carnival, and I had to wear this formal, and I was so mad. And my mother would make me stand there while she didn't make it, but she added accessories to it. She added a velvet belt and she added these little bows to it. And she made me stand there. Oh, I see that where the dishes are in the background, that piece of furniture. I still have that. I use it now. I put my dishes on it. I wish I had those blue willow dishes. But it looks like Mom has on tennis shoes and a skirt. And then that's after the little carnival. Look at those curtains. And that's our living room couch. And those curtains, boy, does that scream 60s. With a great big portrait of each child hanging over the couch. That is so typical 60s, early 60s, isn't it? That was about 63. Because I think I'm about 8 there. No, yeah, that's about 63, I guess. I guess I was about 8 in 63. And I always played the piano. It was so graceful. But those lamps and that couch, oh my goodness. And there's Mom cooking. So we had a stove top, and then we had the oven built into the side, which I always thought was real fancy. And in the window she has Dove dishwasher liquid. But I do like that little cardigan she has on. That's cute. And then my brother, I remember he was trying to grow his hair out into a beetle haircut. And he was so mad. He was always so mad when my dad would film him. He would try to go hide. But yeah, I remember him growing out. And that was his car. It was a Renault, I think. Renault. I can't remember how it was pronounced. That was his car. And then we had the family car. Wow. And then there's Daisy outside. And I had on, I remember, tennis shoes and then bobby socks. That's what we called them. And then pedal pushers. See, those long shorts that came right above the knees, we called them pedal pushers. And we had a big snow, even though we were real far south. We had a great big snow. And my parents were a little on the crazy side. They would get out and drive when a tornado was in the area, and they got out and wanted to drive in all this snow, even though we didn't get much snow. And you can see it's pretty deep. But no, they wanted to get out and drive in that old car with no seat belts. We didn't have seat belts then. So Melissa Ann, get in that car. We got to go out and drive. Why we had to go drive, I don't know. But that's what we had to do. They wanted to go drive in the snow when they should have stayed put. And this is 6th grade. I broke my arm. And do you remember those shells that we wore? What's what we call them? The tops, or we called them shells. And they had a little zipper in the back. And then we had those slacks with the bulge plaid that zipped up the side. I remember them zipping up the side, but I remember those shells very well. But I was 6th grade here, so what, 11? Something like that. And and our dog Daisy had died, and we got another little dog. And that ring that I have right there, I wear it to this day. I'm looking at it right now as I narrate this. But I remember that little dog. And look at that. I left this. I showed this because I wanted y'all to see this outfit. It was one piece and wild flowers on it, and those fuzzy house shoes. That dog loved those house shoes. Then we had another, I always tripped. I was always clumsy. I was only about 11, 12 here, but I was already tall. And we had another dog named Sport that we had. And my parents, I included this because it was a Christmas too. They had a Christmas party with their brothers and sisters came, and they all got about half drunk, I think, for looking at the footage. But my parents were I loved watching them dance. They were from that swing era from World War II, where they just knew how to dance together with each other. And they did it beautifully. And this is my prom, my junior year, and that's my first husband. We ended up getting married not that much later. We ran away and got married. But yeah, I'm going to have to show this to my grandkids. They've never seen it. I don't know that my kids hadn't seen it for a long, long time. But that was my prom dress. I wanted to put it in there so you could see my prom dress. That speaks 1971, doesn't it? Very much 1970, 71, that prom dress does. And look at his outfit too. It screams this early 70s. Yeah, 1971, I believe this is. So that's what that looks like. And then this is the very last vacation that we took before my parents divorced and before I got married. I got married just a few months after this. I was still a child. But anyway, I wanted to show it because what I have on is a jersey, football jersey that's stylish, little short shorts and sandals, which could be done today with half up, half down hairdo, which, you know, that is still appropriate today. I just wanted to do a quick sign off on my phone before I go and edit this and put it up. But thank you for indulging me. Thank you for watching this. I hope it wasn't too boring, but it was nice to think back. And sometimes I think that's what Christmas is all about, thinking back. I spent most of the day, that's why it's late, I spent most of the day going through these old movies and editing them, filming, editing, and trying to adjust them where they would be a little bit clear. But it was fun. It was fun going back. I loved looking at the fashions. I loved looking at the decorations. That white flocked artificial tree, my goodness, I never will forget that tree. But I enjoyed this thoroughly. This was my favorite day because I got to look back. And then tomorrow we will look forward and talk about what I have probably talk about what I have gotten the kids so far, grandkids, for Christmas. So thanks for watching. And thank you for day 7 of Vlogmas.